Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider hitting the subscribe button, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that sunshine. This is a radiant, confident card. This is cosmic consciousness. I feel like this is a card of victory, recognition, success, right? This is health. This is wealth. This is a very robust energy. This is telling me that you kind of like, you know why you're here, you know? You know who you are. You know why you're here. You know what you're capable of. And I think you're letting your light shine, that you're doing the internal work that is allowing your light to just spill out from you. It's just shining forth. You can't really contain it if you tried. This is the card of being present, being aligned with our true selves, being confident, being self-assured, and I think moving forward with pride and momentum. Yeah. It's almost a leadership. It's kind of I don't know, maybe you're doing something that kind of brings you into contact with a lot of people, something that puts you in the public eye, something that it could literally be like a leadership kind of role that you're in right now. Let's see what's going on with this card. Let's put it into context. We've got an 8 of Swords. Yeah, of course. We've got the Magician underneath. We've got the Hanged Man back there. We've got a fixed air energy, a Prince of Swords up top, and we've got a 3 of Pentacles in the future position. Over here we have the Strength card. We have a 6 of Wands, very good. We've got a 9 of Cups, yes. And we've got a 5 of Pentacles. You have one of these kind of one of these classic things going on, a classic energy complex, right? Where here we are, a shining, radiant sun, right? Doing what we're supposed to do, fully capable, but then we've got this 8 of Swords that we're doubting ourselves a little bit, where there's something that is like, there's something that we're resisting letting our light shine. Okay, there's over-analysis that maybe we're too self-conscious. The one thing that's going to prevent our light from shining out from us is this self-consciousness, where we're going to intentionally try to hide it away. That we're too aware of ourselves, we're too aware of like what we're doing in that kind of, in that self-conscious, almost anxious kind of way, So I feel like we're learning how to remove this obstacle, this resistance, right? So that our true self can shine forward with confidence and self-assurance. Okay? I think that whatever you're doing right now, your efforts seem to be kind of like publicly acknowledged. Your efforts are visible and I think appreciated and admired. I think you're getting recognition for your contribution. So it does kind of feel like you're kind of being singled out for some sort of award or like some sort of attention, positive attention, but nevertheless makes us feel kind of like, well, I don't know, there's some resistance here. Maybe we don't feel we deserve it. Maybe there's something getting in the way of that. Makes us too self-conscious. I don't like people looking at me. It could be a lot of things. Okay. Let's select a mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite and Unknown. We're going to set it down right here with Bubo, the mechanical owl, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us that confirmation that we're looking for. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments. All right. Now, let's look around the room. We've got major, 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 major. You got fire. You got water. You've got some air, a couple of air cards, a couple of earth cards. So the air and the earth, it's kind of like we're thinking too much about what we're doing, rather than just kind of like trusting in ourselves, trusting in this energy that we have. I feel like you got this boss energy right now, right? And I feel like we need to tap into that sun energy, that confidence, that radiance, letting it flow forth from us and not thinking too much about it. This is the difference between someone who's like driving a car, and they're in the zone, they know what they're doing, they're confident, they're paying attention. This is a card of clarity. They're consciously there and awake and paying attention. This is somebody that's nervous about driving the car. Somebody that's too focused on, oh, what's my foot doing? Is my hand in the right place? Am I stepping on the gas too much? How often do I have to check the mirrors? And so we're just kind of overthinking it. There's such thing as too much mindfulness, right? Like the Last Samurai, too many minds. We're minding everything. We're minding the mirrors. We're minding our hands. We're minding our feet. We're minding the gas gauge, the speedometer, the tachometer. We're minding the lights and all. We're minding everything, right? The sun is pure consciousness. It's not over-analysis. It's not taking in too many details that we get overwhelmed and we can't function. Okay, so it's not exactly autopilot, but it's something similar to that. But it is a radiance of your true spiritual light. I feel like you're in a leadership position. I feel like there is a very strong capability in you. I feel like there's some kind of a public component here where we're a little bit resistant to shining our light. It's kind of like we're trying to hide our light a little bit, almost dimming our shine a little bit here, okay? And I think there is some sort of public component, especially with our Six of Wands in the position of the environment. Okay. So your efforts seem to be visible and appreciated and admired. You have a leadership energy. The sun is a source of light and life for others, so I feel like you are an inspiration to other people. I feel like the Six of Wands is talking about some kind of a milestone that you're reaching. It's a clear win, but it feels like it's one win in a series of wins on your journey, right? Don't stop here. There's more mountain to climb. Yeah. But it's a recognition, right? But there's this, there's a resistance to that, a little bit with that Eight of Swords. It is a rumination, overthinking, too many minds, right? Too many minds. Now, we've got Hanged Man in the background, okay? Sometimes the Hanged Man is, it's a complex card, right? It's a card of surrender, sacrifice. Now, this can either be a very good thing or a not so good thing. Somebody that sacrifices their own spiritual growth for the sake of someone else is going to become resentful. We're denying the energy within us. We're denying the life within us to be in service to somebody else. Okay? This could be an energy that says we've kind of gotten in the habit. To me, the background position is very often representing some things from the past that come through as psychological complexes, right, that are affecting us in the present moment. So why are we trying to dim our shine right now, where here you are doing perfectly wonderful, successful work, right? And people want to see you. People want to know you. People want your leadership, right? People are appreciative of you. You're inspiring other people. But you have this part of you that just is kind of shying away from it or trying to minimize it or not accept it, not acknowledge it in yourself. And very often that kind of a thing will come from something in our past. So the Hanged Man could be a history where you've been encouraged to dim your shine. Did we grow up in an environment where we weren't encouraged to speak out loud, to shine our light? Did you grow up in an environment where you had to be very attentive to the emotions of other people to the point where you had to hide yours away because you tried to maintain the balance of your environment and tried to sort of like not rock the boat? try to make sure everything was okay, taking care of other people's needs, which meant that we kind of were sacrificing what our own needs are. See, the Hanged Man could be a surrender to the divine flow of life, okay, in a very positive way. Or it could be the surrender of the divine life. It could be that we are sacrificing the divine within us in order to sort of stabilize the boat, to stabilize the environment around us. Well, because when we're young, especially if we're children, that's kind of the most important thing, right? Is that we just very attentive to the energies around us, and we're doing what we can to stabilize that. So sometimes the Hanged Man is this complex where we're very used to ignoring what our own soul is telling us in order to make sure that the environment is safe, you know. And so this puts us in a very kind of overly mindful state. We're paying attention to every single detail, and we become very self-conscious. And a history of dimming our shine. Maybe we grew up with people or parents or something that always told us to kind of sit down, be quiet. You know, that we weren't encouraged to speak up. We weren't encouraged to shine in our own way. Okay, maybe we grew up in a time or a place where we spent a lot of our energy not developing ourselves, not developing who we were, but by making sure somebody else was okay. You know, I grew up with an alcoholic father, and a lot of my childhood was spent trying to make sure that, you know, that dad was okay so that I could be okay. You know, because if there was turmoil outside, if there was not peace in the house, well, then that's going to affect me, right? So we're putting our well-being on somebody else's, not on their shoulders, right? But we're putting that in somebody else's power, you know. But anyway, this is. Could be what this is back here. And this could be the source of some of our Eight of Swords energy right now. Okay. The Magician here is the kind of capability that you have. You are intensely capable of what you're doing. You're intelligent. You are the Magician. You're the one that is causing change in conformity with your will. And I think what we're trying to do then is kind of stop this blockage, remove that resistance. So what we have is this, that you're surrendering to your own divine energy, and you are committed to your purpose. You have your GPS is sort of locked on target, and you're allowing yourself to continue doing that good work that is causing the change in conformity with your will. That you're able to let this Magician free to do what it does with passion, with confidence and recognition, right? But there's the blockage here, the mental Eight of Swords kind of blockage. Okay. We don't want to rely too much on other people's approval to feel worthy, because then, as the Hanged Man, we're busy trying to please other people just so we can get a little bit of peace and some kind of validation. Okay, or that we can just get a little bit of peace, you know. We don't want to hold back our light out of some fear of being judged or a fear of failure. Okay. And even part of this Hanged Man energy could be this imposter syndrome, that we're doubting our worth, even when we're clearly, everything is working. We're causing the right kind of changes in life. You know, I mean, you even have a Nine of Cups over here. Okay. We don't want to doubt our worth. So this Eight of Swords can be a lot of different things. We need to get rid of that. We need to realize that this was something that was back here. And once we shine a light on this, then we can say, okay, I can see how this is operating in my life, and I don't have to let it operate that way all the time. I can see when this is happening, and I can try to turn off some of these minds, you know. Because what we have up top is a Prince of Swords. It's a fixed mental energy. It's fixed thought, fixed air. Okay. And if our energy, if our beliefs about ourselves are fixed over here, then we get stuck here. Sometimes this fixed air energy is that we It's kind of saying like we need to change our mind. We need to change the way we think about ourselves. We need to change the things we tell ourselves, you know. The Magician is the card of adaptability, right? Being elastic. Well, if this is in service to the Hanged Man, then we're adapting to something that we really probably shouldn't be adapting to. Okay? Rather than putting our effort and believing in ourselves and putting our effort into the work that we know we're meant to be doing right now. So there's some situation in the physical world where you really have what it takes to do this, but we need to believe in that. We need to acknowledge that. We have to fix our thoughts on truth and confidence and not feel like we're stuck in that Hanged Man energy. Okay? Because sometimes the Hanged Man is well, it's a stuck feeling, right? It's kind of like we're in this uncomfortable position. There's nothing we can do about it. It could be anyway, right? Every card has light and shadow. The Hanged Man could be somebody who was sacrificing their own solar nature, right? For many different reasons, as we've seen. But the fixed air energy to me, feels like it's a reference to the star card. It's an Aquarius kind of energy. And it's saying that we need to keep our mind fixed on our star, which is the sun anyway. We need to be connected and aligned with our true selves and not let our psychological complexes, like the Eight of Swords, sabotage us. You know, like that, the sabotage of the Eight of Swords, it's like we get really close to success, we get really close to feeling the happiness and feeling good about what we've done, and then somehow we fudge it, we fumble it. Not intentionally, right? But it's an unconscious thing. And it could be that in some ways we're sabotaging our own happiness. We're not letting ourselves feel as happy as we could about what we're doing now, because there's this feeling of as soon as I start getting happy, I'm going to get yelled at. As soon as I start getting loud and excited, I'm going to get yelled at. Or there's some reason to dim our shine here. And so we're not letting ourselves get too close to the Nine of Cups. That's why this card's in the position of the obstacle. It's difficult for you to own your success and celebrate your wins and feel good about this. Okay? Now the Magician is one who is allowing the starlight in. The Magician really is the one, the Magician is the one that wears the mask. This is the face that we put on. This is the persona, the Magician, right? This is the costume that we wear when we're out in the world. You know, you're a mother, you're a father, you're a brother's daughter, you're a friend, you're a coworker, you know, you're a boss, you're an employee, you're a mail carrier, I don't know, you collect stamps, whatever you do. This is the mask, this is the costume that we wear. Okay? Beneath that is our solar nature. Because what these cards represent is us able to take the divine light that's flowing into us, aligning ourselves internally, clearing away the blockages, discovering the knots of karma, finding out what our buttons are, so that the light can shine forth from us unimpeded by our stuff, our human stuff, you know. And the Magician is the one that can take the divine light coming in and projects it out, transmits it out to the world through the wand, right? Causing change, you know, letting that light flow through us as a clear channel, as a smooth, clear, open conduit of that divine light. Well, that's what we are. That's the sun. The sun is radiating this light outward because of all the stuff going on inside. It's radiating its light outward. This is our true self. This is the mask that we wear. Okay? And we have to understand, what is that? Why do I wear the mask that I wear? How did this mask get created, and do I need to put on a different wardrobe? Do I need to change my costume a little bit? Right? Someone told me the other day in the comments I was wearing a shirt and tie on the readings, and they said, "Oh, you're not wearing your clown suit today." And I thought that was great because, yeah, that's the Magician. The magician is the clown, right? The magician is the trickster. The magician is the one that can wear all the different masks at once and knows how to change them and knows how to, there's really no difference between a magician and a clown, And so I think that we have to pay attention to the mask that we're wearing. And sometimes when we get really close to our true selves and we realize that this is us without the mask, it's a little scary. And we start thinking, oh gosh, well, who am I if I don't have the mask on? Well, you're the radiant sun. Okay? And so we're trying to come into a greater alignment with our true self so that we can wear the mask that we need to wear right now. Maybe the mask that you're wearing is that boss energy, that you're the one that's doing this work, the Three of Pentacles in the future position. You're the one doing the work. You're the one leading this, orchestrating this, putting this together. You're the one that's maybe delegating or giving the instructions. Like, I feel like you're in some kind of a leadership role, right? But this boss energy that I'm feeling may just be life. I'm going to figure out myself what my own clown suit is, and I'm going to wear that out into the world like a boss, And I just feel like this may not have anything to do with your work or your career or your family, friends, or your vocation or your hobbies, or you're on a sports team or something. It may not really have to do with that. It may just be like, who am I? And who am I going to present myself to? Or how am I going to present myself out in the world? Right? What is the mask that I want to wear? How am I constructing my own persona? Is it some kind of a complex from the past that's creating a persona of meekness or mildness or a kind of a humility or, kind of a quiet staying in the background kind of thing? Or am I going to create a mask where I am bold and I am a boss and I am up front and I'm saying I want to be first, So we have to understand what's going to work for us and what the situation, what our life really needs right now. Because it really depends, too. It depends on circumstance. The magician is the one that can adapt to the environment, but can also kind of change the environment a little bit. So depending on what your circumstances are, that's going to sort of give us a clue as to how I need to formulate my mask, about what kind of a costume I need to wear. And I don't mean literally, but I mean clothes are a part of it. But I just feel like it's the energy that you're projecting. It's the way you're interfacing with the world. Are you approaching life like a boss or like like a hanged man, right? Maybe the mystery card is probably going to be the Emperor card. But it does depend on circumstance. It depends on what's needed. This is you understanding the process of creation on the physical plane. Depending on what your goals are right now, what your life is like, that's going to sort of determine what sort of persona and how you're going to interface with the world. Okay? And I feel like you're going to interface with the world with that boss energy. Let's talk about the path of the serpent. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. The readings are totally free. You've got the lust or strength card as your general energy. This is someone who feels capable. This is somebody that knows that I am ferocious, that I can create, that I'm capable of reaching up into the night sky and plucking out the star and putting it in my pocket. There's no goal that is too lofty for the strength card, right? This is courage. This is boldness. But it's not arrogance, right? We're stepping into this leadership. We're being bold, right? In sharing whatever your gift is, whatever your message is, whatever this work is, or whatever's radiating from you. Your confidence is really an important part to your manifestation, right? I feel like if we're confident, we're magnetizing ourselves to the kind of life that we want. We're attracting things to us through our confidence. Okay, I think that this card is about self-worth. That we're feeling confident and secure in who we are, but we're not letting it get out of hand. See, this is a card of discipline and self-control. Confidence is not going into a situation and thinking, everyone's going to love me. Everybody is going to just be so blown away by what I can do. Everybody's going to love me. No, that's not confidence. That's betraying a lack of confidence. Confidence is saying, I'm going to go into this situation. I'm going to do the very best that I can. I want people to like me, but if they don't, I'll be okay. If I don't do the greatest job in the world, that's okay. If I reach for the star, but I miss and I get the moon instead, that's okay. I'm going to be fine. That's confidence. You know, the realization that nothing's going to break me. You know, even if I go through challenges, even when I face a Five of Pentacles, which is the last card we have. Okay. I think the Lust card here has to sort of, especially with these two, the Magician and that Passion here, we have to sort of visualize our victory. We have to know what it's like to succeed. We have to feel what it's like to be seen. And we have to be secure and confident in that. In the environment, you know, you've got your Six of Wands here. The Six of Wands is a lot of praise. It's a lot of recognition. But again, we want to keep a handle on that because we don't want to be so dependent on other people's opinions of us, right? So this is very important because other people are praising you. Other people are validating you. We don't want to be too reliant on that, to where if people sort of pull back their support a little bit, that I'm going to feel unstable, right? I'm going to feel like I'm on shaky ground. So we need, we like the validation, we like the recognition. This is a card that says you're getting a win. You're getting a big win here, right? But we don't want to rely too heavily on the accolades or the praise or the validation or the approval of others. We feel worthy because we're in our true nature, we're in our solar energy. The Hanged Man is one that might be too dependent on the validation or the approval of others. Doesn't feel worthy unless the other is saying, yes, you're worthy. Okay? And we don't want to let the praise or the approval feed our arrogance, but rather feed our confidence. We like the wins, we like the praise, but it's not, you know, I'm going to use it in the right way. I'm going to be not arrogant, but confident, as we talked about, right? And furthermore, with the Nine of Cups, we want to believe. We want to stop doubting that we deserve happiness. Don't doubt your worth. You clearly are doing the right things out in the world. You've got to allow yourself to feel good about that, to celebrate the wins. This is a card of wish fulfillment. This is a card of happiness, the happiness that keeps on happening, right? The dream that keeps on dreaming. It's in the position of your difficulty. This is your obstacle. And I think your obstacle is allowing yourself to feel that. Okay? Allowing yourself to feel the abundance, both physically, financially, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, creatively. To really, truly feeling like you're aligned with your best self, and we're not, you know, the Eight of Swords. We're not feeling guilty. We're not feeling like an imposter. We're not feeling anxious or self-conscious that, you know, this happiness is going to be snatched away from us at any moment. You know, it's like when you're a kid and you feel like you're having a lot of fun. You're just playing with your toys, and maybe you're getting a little loud, and then your parents come in and they tell you to be quiet, right? And it's kind of like, oh, you know, if I want mom and dad's approval, I better be quiet. That's what they want. That's going to make mom and dad happy. I have to be quiet and calm, right? And so we don't want to let ourselves get into the feelings of being excited or being happy because, oh, well, that's what makes mom and dad mad. And then, you know, so we're seeking approval. And that's what kids do. All of us, you know, have done that as kids. We have to realize if that has become part of our interface with the world even now, is that part of our general persona? Is that part of the mask that we wear, where we are not trying to stand out? I don't want to shine my light. I'm supposed to be quiet. If I want everybody's approval, I've got to be quiet. I've got to be in the background. I got to not be so loud, not make myself seen, really. That's how I stay in everybody's good graces, right? Because when I get loud, when I get confident, when I start showing my true self, that's when I would get told to be quiet and settle down, you know? And I think this happens to all of us as kids. I think we need to recognize when that is active in our life and we can do something about it. Just by shining a light on it, I think, you know, takes away a lot of that energy and puts it back into our magicianhood, our magicianship, right? So the Nine of Cups is to allow ourselves to feel happy and feel that the validation comes from within, not from without. We are allowed to be happy. We are allowed to feel this feeling of abundance. Okay, this boss energy, yeah, feels good, right? The Five of Pentacles is saying that you're equipped to handle it. You're in such boss energy that whatever challenges come next, you're able to find the gold here. This is somebody who's digging in the dirt and they're just about to strike it rich, right? You can see the light of this card is about to break forth from underneath. In some ways, this is saying that our old persona, our old mask, is starting to crack and fall away from us. And what's underneath? Well, that radiant sun, right? So we're changing, we're growing, we're evolving. And as we do, our old masks no longer fit us, right? The mask of the child doesn't fit our adult faces anymore, right? So yeah, when you're a kid, your parents said, hey, go to your room, be quiet, don't make so much noise, settle down. Okay, well, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not wearing that mask any longer. That mask doesn't fit me, okay? So I think you're stepping into your true self energy and you're realizing that you need a different mask. It's, we're walking around in shoes that are too small for us. I just need it. Those are my kids' shoes. I got to put my own sneakers on, my own boots, right? Maybe boots, maybe dress shoes. I don't know. I need to get some shoes actually. We're going to do some more hiking and outdoor stuff this summer, and I realize I don't have a good pair of walking shoes, But anyway, I like this. This is very important energy for you right now. And I'll look at the mystery card before this reading gets too long. Maybe another sun card. Maybe another magician. Maybe a Six of Swords. Right? I feel like we could like a balance, like a harmony, conversation, something that's kind of, there's a flow there. I like the Six of Wands, but maybe we need the Six of Cups. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. Oh, that's the Six of Wands again. Yeah, I mean, it's a win. It's a confirmation from the universe that what you're doing is working, that you belong where you are. You're doing good work. You're capable. You should be confident. You should believe in yourself. Let your light shine. You're being victorious. You're finding the problems of life and you're fixing them. You're leading your people to victory. Okay? The Six is the harmony and beauty and balance after a Five. Right? So the Five is the recognition of the problem. The Six is the victory. Now we're talking external world. You're leading the pack. You're facing a challenge, and you are leading your people to victory. Right? In the external world, somewhere in your life, friends, family, coworkers, whatever. But also internally, we're finding the old mask that we don't need to wear any longer, and we're letting it crack and fall away. And this victory is a victory of, it's an alignment with ourselves, right? It's a victory over the past. It's a victory over the complex. It's teaching us something about ourselves, but it's also reminding us that this is one peak. There are many more peaks on this mountain that we keep going. This work does not end. The inner spiritual work does not end, because we will always find more masks. The next mask that we put on, we may find eventually, well, hey, that's my childhood mask too. This pair of shoes that I'm wearing, it's better, but it still feels like it's not my size, Because as we grow and expand, that mask that we wear, that persona has to grow and expand and change too. And that's the elasticity of our magician energy. That our interface with the world must always shift and shape and grow and change and stretch and, depending on the circumstances outside, but also depending on the development and progress of our own inner spiritual work. So the Six of Wands is a victory over ourselves, really. It's teaching us a lot about ourselves. It's a big win spiritually. That sort of matches these big wins that you're experiencing out in the world, right? Inside, outside, it's alchemy. We're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Virgo on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed, please do. The readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.